Where are you going? Pull the damn lever. Ah, there we go. Nice.
Santa Maria.
Wow. That's something.
You're telling me.
Well, down we go, gentlemen.
Better take this card back. Don't want to be stuck down there. All right, folks. I think this is it. Wherever this takes us, I have a feeling Dr. Clark will be there.
The real question is, will we be able to return here once we've found him?
I sure hope so.
Maybe one of us should stay up here, just in case.
There's no telling what we'll find down there.
Yeah,
We
exactly.
should all stick together.
Okay, let's go then.
I've already lost half the party as it is. Whoa. Very green down
What
here.
in the ether is this place?
Caramba! Oh, we had better not be trapped down here.
Damn, I knew one of us should have stayed up there.
So now we're looking for two things. Clark and the exit.
I mean, you got the contraption and a key card, okay.
We weren't expecting, who are you?
I'm afraid that information is confidential.
Oh, sure. If there's anyone who understands confidentiality, it's us down here. I never realized working with Dr. Clark would involve so much secrecy.
Okay, so you're not Clark.
Could you take us to him?
Hang on. You still haven't said why you're here.
That's not gonna work. One of these two, I think. I'll try that one. I really should have saved before I came down here.
We've come on General LaPorte's orders.
Oh, well, why didn't you say so? Right, come with me.
Goodness, this place is
Wow.
really something.
I'm glad you think so.
What's that big glowing thing down there?
That's our aetheric generator. Powers most everything down here. You get used to the noise. Follow me, please. I'll just be a moment.
Do you think he suspects anything?
I think we're okay.
Knowing
so
our
far.
luck,
Just
probably.
Follow my lead.
I suppose General LaPorte's curiosity was too much for him to bear. I told him he could come for a demonstration next week. Instead, he sends 3 proxies. I will never understand that man's rationale. But you're here now, so you may as well see what we've got. I'm Dr. Bennett Clark, by the way.
I guessed.
And you are?
What did I do? Really should have saved.
I'm Miss Legere. This is Mr. Marquez and Mr. Luo. We are safety inspectors here to make sure everything is running smoothly in advance of the General's arrival.
Oh, the General is suddenly concerned about safety. Well, I suppose that's a refreshing change. All right.
I don't like
Let's
that
go have
answer.
a look at Project Rosewater. I'm afraid the testing chamber only accommodates 4. One of you will have to stay out here with Joshua, but you may observe the test through the window.
I was hoping I could bring Danny in with me. He's got the bullets.
As I said, we weren't expecting anyone until next week.
And also there's
The
plenty of room in here for
prototype
Danny.
still needs, refinement. Nevertheless, we have made a breakthrough.
Prototype of what, exactly?
You mean the General didn't tell you? Why am I not surprised? There on the tripod, the etheric pistol. The whole purpose and object of Project Rosewater. Juliet, is the prototype
You're making
ready
a
for
steampunk
demonstration?
laser gun.
I believe so, Doctor. But who are we demonstrating it for?
Miss Legere and her companions, the team sent by General LaPorte. Now, please, do us the honors.
Yes, Doctor.
Steampunk laser gun.
Santo cielo.
Whoa.
We have managed to confine the chaotic etheric discharge to a very narrow, focused beam over a distance of up to 6 meters, without significant dissipation or redirection of energy, reaching nearly 68.2% efficiency. This results in complete vaporization of most organic targets, with only minimal atmospheric disturbances in the immediate vicinity. You might be feeling warmth, or a slight tingling sensation on your skin, and a change of pressure in your ears, perfectly harmless. Oh, and if you are experiencing any alteration to your color vision, I assure you that is also completely temporary.
Híjole. Can you smell that music?
There are sometimes minor synesthetic side effects. That too will pass. Of course, there is plenty of room for improvement in range, energy efficiency, fine-tuning of the beam's intensity and area of effect, user-friendliness and safety. But, as proof of concept, this irrefutably demonstrates that the principle is sound, and that it can be scaled up. The rest is...
Scaled up?
iteration.
Well, thank you for that
Make a cannon like this or
thorough
something?
explanation.
Now I'm afraid you must excuse me. I have some time-sensitive tasks I must attend to. If only I'd been forewarned of your arrival, I might have made arrangements. In any event, if you have questions, I or my assistants can answer them. Just be mindful not to touch anything.
Oh boy. Time to convene
That
an
was
emergency
really
meeting, I think.
something.
So LaPorte's got Clark developing etheric weapons for the military. This throws a wrench in Shaw's plans.
Ah, despicable. Typical military. Working in secret to secure for itself awesome powers of death and destruction, without the knowledge or consent of the people. Perhaps Dr. Clark will be willing to abandon this project and turn his ambitions to something less wicked.
Perhaps. But I can't just ask him with his assistant right there. Maybe I can get her to leave the testing chamber so I can have a moment alone with Clark.
Okay. But in the meantime, let's have a look around. Ooh, it's a lot of things to look at. Let's see. Can we go through here? Apparently we can. Oh, damn. Nice digs.
Just some clothes and a couple of storage boxes. Just some
Nothing to look at, though, apparently. Alright.
The box is full of odds and ends. Some sewing and personal grooming supplies.
Can't look at the storage supplies?
Just
No? Okay. Neat clock.
the only indication of time down here. A set of...
Nothing else I can interact with.
The lab assistants share a room? Not sure if that's progressive or scandalous.
Okay. Why are we leaving this open? Can we put something inside it, maybe? Don't know. This door I doubt we're getting through.
There's no handle.
Yeah, there's a thing next
There's
to
a
it.
card slot next seems to be locked.
I doubt this'll work, will it? Oh yeah, still got that container. And the red banana! Anybody want a red banana?
It doesn't fit.
Yeah, I didn't think so. What's all this up here?
These tomatoes are thriving. Must be all the exposure to ethericity.
Can't take any of them, though.
Controls, gauges, and dials. Who knows what they're for? Looks like a more complex version of the console back in Clark's desert lab.
Let's see, it doesn't look like we can fiddle with anything on this table.
Some kind of little oven for heating food, I think. This thing is in dire need of repairs.
Well, if only someone back in town could sell me a repair kit. Okay, so we can come back in here if we need to. Maybe to talk to the guys in private. No point in using that, because there was only one person up there and we tried our best to get rid of him.
It would probably be wise to avoid...
Yeah.
Hey,
Alright.
Danny?
Yes, Harley.
Thoughts, gentlemen?
How do you suppose they managed to build a place like this under an island?
Don't know, but whoever did it must be real serious about Dr. Clark's research.
Okay. So we can't get
Hey,
any
Phil?
pointers from them here.
Would you look at this place? It's incredible.
When we entered Clark's lab in the desert, I considered it an abomination. But now, I cannot find the words to describe this accursed place. The sooner we find a way back to the surface, the better.
That reminds me, can we actually get back to the surface?
I can't remove the panel with...
Okay, we need to... Alright, interesting. Alright, so we are trapped down here. For the time being, anyway. Do we have different topics with the guys now that we're down
Can't
here?
think of any...
Nope. Alright, so I guess let's just talk to the assistants. Start with this guy.
Hey, can we talk?
Sure. What's on your mind?
Have you been down here long?
About 7 months, I think. Without any sunlight, you really lose all sense of time. Sometimes it feels like decades.
I can imagine.
No sunlight? You mean you never go outside?
No, of course not. Is this some kind of test? The terms were made very clear when we signed onto this project. We don't break protocol. I do really miss the sun, though. Sometimes I feel like a mushroom down here.
How did you become interested in etheric research?
I was already a researcher when I met Dr. Clark, but my field was chemistry. I had dabbled some with etheric experiments after hearing about Clark's research. When I saw him at the Lamplight City Expo, I knew I wanted to work with him, despite what happened. After the dust settled, I approached him about taking me on as an assistant. I got the feeling he was just surprised to still have any support.
Wait a minute, didn't we find a journal from Clark that said he didn't want to take an assistant on after his last one was killed?
Don't you ever get bored here?
Sure, all the time.
Maybe he got over it.
We've got books, but I've read them all. This is my 3rd time through this one. At least this phase of the project's near completion. Maybe we'll get some time up top before the next one.
I feel like some of these questions he wouldn't want to answer because we're supposed to be safety inspectors and we should already know this. But I'll try it anyway.
Never would have dreamed there was a whole secret facility hidden under this rock in the middle of the bay. Who built it anyway?
The military, I guess. Had to be someone with very deep pockets. Everything was already in place before they moved us in.
What are your thoughts on Project Rosewater?
Honestly, I try not to think about it too much. We're doing important scientific research. I can't deny that. Just because our focus is on weapons doesn't mean our results can't be used for other applications.
You poor, sweet, innocent thing.
How do you like working with Dr. Clark?
It has its moments, but I'd be lying if I said it wasn't stressful. He gets wound up sometimes, which I understand. But other times he picks strange things to get cross about.
Like what?
Well, his biggest bugbear is food in the testing chamber. I made the mistake of taking my lunch in there once, and he just about had a conniption. Cleanliness is one thing, but this is a whole other level.
Time to sneak in a red banana?
So Clark dislikes food in the testing chamber, does he?
Dislikes? More like detests.
Okay.
So Clark
Aren't those the same thing?
know anything about General LaPorte?
I saw him once, right at the start of the project. Didn't talk to him. He seemed kind of intense. He's the one running the show, as far as I can tell. Beyond that, the man's a total mystery.
Okay.
See you around.
Bye.
Want a red banana?
No thanks. Those are too sweet for my taste.
Okay then. Want a red banana?
She's busy.
Okay then. Oh, shit.
Dr. Clark?
Yes, what is it?
Yeah, Harley did say, asking, if he wanted to get away from things or whatnot while the, assistant was away. But here she comes back. Well, damn.
Just how long have you been down in this facility?
8 months. We've made extraordinary progress, as you can see. I admit, I had some misgivings when I first learned what would be required of us, but
Wonder if I need to sneak a look at that book.
isolation has done wonders for our productivity.
I'll let you get back to it.
Thank you.
The lab assistant's desk. She's written some notes, but I have no idea what they mean.
Okay, never mind.
So who built this whole underground complex anyway? I'm guessing it wasn't always a secret ethericity lab.
I'm not entirely sure. Apart from the additional equipment I specified, everything was already prepared for us when I arrived in El Presidio. General LaPorte isn't exactly forthcoming with information he considers irrelevant.
Uh-huh.
Do you know much about General LaPorte?
Not a great deal, no. I only met him when he summoned me to El Presidio. We speak occasionally, but only about professional matters. Just as well, I suppose. His interests don't align particularly well with mine.
So your relationship is purely professional?
It's an acquaintanceship at best.
Would your interest maybe align with, say, Vespuccia Petrol?
Why did you agree to work on this project?
Why? I just experienced the worst disaster of my life. My work was first ridiculed and then outlawed, and I was exiled to a barren wasteland. The only prospect I could see was to leave the country and start everything over. But then I received General LaPorte's offer. I could continue my work in safety and solitude. Everything I needed would be provided. No investors, no reporters, no loonies, no distractions. I'm certain anyone in my position would have jumped at the opportunity.
No loonies except LaPorte.
Who came up with Project Rosewater?
My understanding is that this work is for the benefit of the Vespuccian army. General LaPorte is in charge of the project. Everything goes through him. Other than the facility guards, I've had contact with no one else.
How much longer until Project Rosewater is finished?
We're nearing the end of this phase. If all goes well, we should have a stable, fully functioning prototype by the end of the year.
Uh-huh.
What exactly is the goal of this project?
Well, once the etheric pistol is complete, we'll begin experimenting with larger caliber weapons.
Etheric
so.
rifles?
Yes, and whatever else the General sees fit to pursue.
Where does it stop?
You'd have to ask him that question.
Yeah, I'd rather not.
How did this project get the name Rosewater?
My idea. Sentimental, really. I suppose I had gotten attached to my dry and dusty little desert lab. After all, Rosewater was my refuge when I lost everything else. I just made an offhand comment to that effect one day while discussing arrangements with the General. And he said, "Well, in that case, why don't you bring Rosewater with you?" When I found out he made that the official title of the project, it made me smile, I'll admit.
Huh.
Just how did you come to discover the existence of ethericity?
Now that's a story. When I was a boy, I read about the ancient Greeks and their studies of the heavens. Certain texts made obscure references to observations of energy subsisting in the atmosphere. Something entirely different from electricity. The idea seized my imagination and sparked my passion for the pursuit of ethericity. I developed an instrument that I called the aetherometer in order to probe the atmospheric potential. Imagine my delight when I discovered that ethericity was in fact real. Unfortunately, the aetherometer has been appropriated by so-called spiritualists who believe they can use it to talk with the dead.
That is interesting. Ever since I played Lamplight City, I'd always assumed ethericity was just sort of this universe's equivalent of electricity. I didn't think they were one and the same. Okay, cool.
I'd like to know your perspective on the Lamplight City Expo incident.
That was a dark day. Everything I worked for came crashing down in a matter of seconds. Being maligned and ostracized was bad enough, but I can still hear the screams of those 15 poor souls. If anything good can be said to have come from that horrible event, it taught me that nothing in this life is guaranteed.
What inspired you to become a scientist?
Trite as it may sound, I wanted to make the world better. I had a fortunate birth. My parents were able to pay for my studies in Paris, which is where I earned my doctorate in physics. But even as a boy, I still saw plenty of terrible things going on around me. Others seemed not to see, but I did. Upon my return to Vespuccia, I began teaching and conducting independent research. My only explicit goal was to make some sort of discovery or development that would serve the advancement of mankind. I would like to believe I've achieved that.
I'll let you get back to it.
Thank you.
Huh. Want a red banana?
Get that out of here. No foodstuffs of any kind in the testing chamber.
Can't search this, probably with,
Not while Clark's around.
Yeah. Alright, so I gotta get rid of Clark somehow.
The lab assistant...
Do I maybe have to plant the banana on her?
Clark will see me.
Okay. What do we do then? Phil, you want to help make a distraction?
Hey, Phil?
Aha!
Think you might occupy Dr. Clark's attention for a few minutes?
Of course. I can be very engaging after all.
Okay, so I gotta have Phil keep him occupied.
Dr. Clark, may I have a moment?
And then while she's in the testing
Yes,
room...
what is it?
Wait for her to go away. Hope I didn't screw up the timing. Yeah, okay, yeah. Alright. So I think I need to
Hey,
have
Phil?
distract Dr. Clark as she goes into the testing room. If what I think I need to do is going to work. Alright, so
Think
now...
you might occupy...
Yep, cool.
Dr. Clark?
Yep. Okay, banana on the thing. Hurry up, Harley, hurry up.
There. Now to watch the fireworks.
Nothing personal, by the way. Just, need to rummage through a chest.
What? Miss Montgomery, what is the meaning of this? How many times have I said, no food in the testing chamber?
But
I don't want excuses. Clear it out. Put away the power cell. We're done with testing today.
Yes, Dr. Clark.
Oh, is she gonna take the thing out the gun? Oh. Wow, that's a lot of power cells.
I apologize for that, Miss Leger, but I'm very particular about rules.
Yeah, no, you're good.
Hey, nothing wrong with that.
Now that we got rid of her, can we ask about other things?
Dr. Clark?
Yes, what is it?
Ah!
Dr. Clark, there's something I need to tell you. We are not really safety inspectors.
What? Who are you then?
Some folks who are hired by D.W. Shaw to come find you.
The head of Vespuccia Petrol.
One
the
of the
very
same.
What does she want with me?
She wants you to help her company pivot from oil to ethericity.
How does she intend to circumvent the ban?
She seems to think it'll be lifted soon, or that she can influence things in that direction.
So she would have me work for VP to generate etheric energy for widespread use?
As an alternative power source, yes. It might even replace coal and oil someday.
Well, that's certainly more appealing than weaponry. But extreme arrangements have been made to develop this project in secret, and at considerable expense, I'm sure. It's not the sort of thing one can just walk away from.
But he is open to it. Let's see. Shaw can protect you. Do we know that? LaPorte is rogue agent. He won't risk exposure. Possibly. I don't know. Don't you? I'm sure he does, maybe.
If nothing else, don't you want to get back into the world again?
Perhaps, but not badly enough to defy the Vespuccian military.
Okay.
So you're dead set on staying here? You won't consider Shaw's offer?
I admit it's enticing, but is it worth the risk?
Okay, so we're back to this. Do we know this? I feel like neither one of these would convince him altogether. Maybe let's go with this.
LaPorte doesn't have to know anything about this. We could fake your death somehow and get you away.
Miss Leger, let's not be ridiculous.
Okay. Well, maybe let's go with that then.
I'm not so sure LaPorte is acting in his capacity as a military general with the full backing and authority of the Vespuccian government here. We've seen plenty of things that don't add up.
That's a fair point.
Clandestine nighttime shipments, the hired private agents, the hidden underground base, all the convoluted
All very good
arrangements
points.
here, the fact that all this research is still technically illegal. I think this is all a side gig. Some kind of secret conspiracy running on misappropriated funds. Don't you see? That means he doesn't have power over you. You could expose everything that's going on here. You'd have leverage over him.
I think that means he could send someone to murder me to keep me quiet, and not lose a wink of sleep over it. That's not exactly convincing me to leave.
I mean, I can see his point with the Blackburns.
If it's LaPorte you're afraid of, I'm sure Shaw can protect you.
Can she? The General is a powerful man. I'm not willing to risk getting on his bad side.
I'll let you get back to it.
Thank you.
Okay. So I need to find something to convince him to leave. What, though? Can we go in here? Probably not.
I don't think I'm allowed in there.
Okay. Oh, not while someone's watching. Phil, do your stuff.
Can't think of anything to ask.
Or maybe not. Never mind, Phil. False alarm, Phil. Can we look through this now?
Not while Clark's
Apparently not. Okay. Alright. What do we do then? Alright, retreat. Think of a plan B. Maybe now we could talk to, Montgomery, I think her name was. Hi, how you doing? You, didn't know it was me that put the banana on your desk, did you?
Can we talk?
I suppose so.
Okay, good.
Just how long have you been working down here?
Good question. It's difficult keeping track of time.
You got a
We're in
clerk.
September,
A clerk.
right?
November,
Clock. Oh, wow.
actually. What sparked your interest in etheric research?
I followed Dr. Clark's career from the early days. He was one of the first to begin advancing etheric theory with practical experiments. Not only that, he was getting results. After I graduated from university, I sent him my thesis on the effects of ethericity on plants and animals. I guess that made me one of the few practical researchers out there, too. He wrote back immediately with an offer of employment.
Cool.
How do you keep from getting bored?
The work is pretty all-consuming, and we don't have much of a social scene down here. Dr. Clark is kind enough to lend us his books to pass the quiet hours.
Don't you mean Dr. Clock, apparently? Since I don't know the difference between the two?
Do you know who built this place?
I suppose this is an old army base, but Clark's had it fitted with some really state-of-the-art equipment. We're lucky to be so well-resourced.
I was blown away by that demonstration.
No, the dummy was.
Figuratively speaking,
Yeah.
of course.
Huh. We've been working on it non-stop, but there are a lot of kinks to work out before it'll be field-ready. For instance, we still can't get more than one shot out of each power cell. I suppose in an actual battlefield situation, you'd need to carry around a lot of cells and reload for every shot, like cannonballs. But the power cells are still very difficult to construct, so we only have a few prototypes. We have to recharge them constantly.
Uh-huh. Sounds kind of cumbersome.
How long does it normally take to charge one of the power cells?
Around 6 hours.
Wow.
Wow is right. Joshua hooked one up to the etheric generator and discovered that it charged instantly. But Dr. Clark wasn't happy about it.
Why not?
He said it made the power cell unstable. But we didn't have to wait all day for the next trial, and Joshua was even able to get 2 shots out of that one. The overcharge effect is certainly something we should investigate later.
Uh-huh. Do we possibly have a way to get Clark out of the lab?
What was that about a faster way to charge the power cells?
Joshua figured out that hooking the power cell to the etheric generator charged it instantly, but Dr. Clark discouraged it because it makes the power cell unstable.
Okay.
Between you and me, doesn't it concern you that ethericity is being weaponized?
Not at all. It's a powerful energy source, and this is one of many practical applications.
Sure, but isn't it better to use it for less destructive purposes?
We live in a dangerous world, and these are uncertain times. Other nations probably have their own etheric weaponry development programs underway. If we didn't pursue this research, we'd be falling behind. A new weapon is most useful as a deterrent. Having it in your back pocket means everyone else thinks twice before firing on you. I know Dr. Clark's had some moral reservations about the military applications of ethericity, but he's a professional through and through.
Okay, then. So I don't know if there's... Well, I mean, this topic still shows up. So I'm thinking either we get a power cell and charge it with the generator, or maybe we... she said it was Joshua's idea and he did it first. Maybe we tell Dr. Clark he's doing it again, and that gets him out of the lab. Anyway. Also, why aren't you concerned your wardrobe's open?
So, what's working with Dr. Clark like?
He's a brilliant man. I learn something new from him every day.
He seems short-tempered.
Well, yes, but that's just the genius mind, isn't it? No room left over for navigating social niceties.
Can you tell me anything about General LaPorte?
Not really. I know he's the one overseeing this project, but I've never had the opportunity to speak with him.
Uh-huh.
I appreciate the chat.
It's nice to have someone new to talk to.
Let's see.
A set of encyclopedias.
Okay. Still can't take anything in here?
Just some clothes.
Alright, cool. Let's see. See, this is Clark's diary, isn't it? I don't want to read it. Whose was this? That's LaPorte's. Let me read through both these diaries first, just to make sure there's nothing that can persuade Clark to come over to our side. Be right back. Glanced through both of them. It was kind of a lot of reading. I don't know if I got the time necessarily for it, but maybe if I show him, because there was a line in LaPorte's diary that says that he's writing not as a soldier, but as a concerned citizen. So maybe that'll convince Clark that LaPorte's not acting in the interests of the government.
I don't understand
No,
why you're
okay.
showing this to me.
Never mind then. So do we tell Dr. Clark that Joshua's messing with the generator?
What is it?
This is a new one.
You'd prefer your research be used to find new ways to kill people?
No, but
Look, I understand. You suffered a terrible setback after the expo. I'm sure it must have been hard. You probably felt like nobody would ever take you seriously again.
You have no idea.
I do know that if I were in your shoes, I'd have probably grabbed onto any lifeline. But I can tell your heart's not really in it, especially knowing what it is you're building.
Yes, well...
So you're gonna squander this opportunity to do some real good in the world because you're afraid of a stuffy old general?
Maybe it's simpler than I
Right,
thought.
Miss Leger. This isn't about me. This is about humanity. I'll come with you.
Okay. Never mind.
But... oh goodness. How shall we... We need to do this discreetly. My assistants can't know what's going on. I'm going to my quarters to settle some things. Excuse me.
Okay. Much easier than I thought.